War Eagle Auburn family, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we talk about what's going on in the world of the Auburn family spectrum. Always heavy on the sports here, but if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. Tonight on this live stream, as we do every Wednesday night, we get together and we talk about anything. Fair game to talk about Auburn-related sports, food, whatever you want to talk about. And sometimes, occasionally, when I feel sympathy for them, I bring in special guests. And I have brought in my good friend and a guy you've seen frequently here on Wednesday nights, Mr. Clint Richardson. What's up, Clint?
Sympathy?
Yes.
Man. All right, whatever.
He's back, y'all. Show and tell time is here. You got things to show us tonight?
I brought a few.
Okay, I figured as much.
I've been told that I had to correct all the misinformation that you tried to spill last week.
Me tried to spill. When there was history, there was certain topics that I knew I was not an expert in. I deferred to you and said, I will only echo what Clint Richardson says because I don't feel qualified. But anyway, I do want to say hello to a couple people already in the chat. True Auburn champion, Neil White. Good to see you all. And thank you so much for being here. As you do come in, smash that like button. And as an early reminder, we want to remind you to check out Clint's website, auburnuniforms.com, the Auburn Uniform Database, where you can find all kinds of good stuff there for history, lore, but also uniform related as well. And as you're coming in, please do post a War Eagle, hello, and where you're watching from, city, state, international. We got East Cobb represented here with Neil White. He's real close to me. And Robert Key from Boaz, Alabama, a little Boaz. You ever been through Boaz, Clint?
Oh, yeah. I was in Boaz 3 weeks ago.
Were you really? For what?
Yeah, in-law families.
Oh, I didn't know the in-laws were from Boaz. Like, literally, there's 2 things in Boaz. I mean,
yeah, you're not kidding. It's the Wendy's across the street in their house.
The funny thing is from what I understand, because Jessica's family used to have a family farm out there. I've been several times. Oh. And they said it used to be like a hub. Like there was shopping there and all kinds of stuff. You drive through there now, there's nothing. No offense to Robert.
You might as well go 20 minutes north to Guntersville.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, that's some of the charm of Alabama is that you get, you get those little quaint southern towns like that. All right, let's see what Neil's saying. I got into an argument with 3 UJ fans yelling at me about how UJ is going to win it all this year and how Auburn is awful. I really dislike UGA.
I got 2 things for this one, Neil. First of all, they were barking at you. They were not yelling at you.
True that.
And second of all, you can't fit stupid. Just don't even try. Just don't waste your time.
They are interesting to deal with, I will say, since living up here for the past 8 years, I guess it's been. UGA fans, it's real interesting. I've got one at work that we have fun together about football. There's never anything that gets real out of hand with it, but it's funny because like she'll bark at me but I'll try to roar back and she's like, oh, you picking on me. I'm like, oh, come on.
Well, here, how about this? Who do you dislike more, Alabama fans or Georgia fans?
Oh, Alabama, hands down. I know the answer for you, though.
I mean, growing up in North Alabama and North Huntsville, like I didn't even know Georgia fans existed. There were like 1.5 Georgia fans that I knew of. And then I get down to Auburn as a student and I learn that there's this whole community of people who absolutely despise Georgia fans more than anything else in the world. Mm-hmm. And like, I had no animosity towards UGA. I still really don't, but I don't prefer them.
I don't know that anybody that prefers UGA except for UGA fans. I mean, I think the same could be said for anybody, but it's funny. There, more often than not, when I run across an opposing fan, minus Alabama or Georgia, they kind of look at Auburn as like, yeah, I mean, when we play you, we're kind of upset with you, but we really don't care one way or the other. We got a pretty decent reputation, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Robert says they're building a new rec center in Boaz. Wow, moving on up in the world.
That's newsworthy, isn't it?
It is very newsworthy. 2 of the 3 weren't alive when UJ won their last championship back when Jimmy Carter won. Jimmy Carter was
were you?
president. Was I? What year was it?
1980.
Oh wow, yeah, I wasn't. I'm not that old. Look, I know my hairline is receding,
I
Clint.
mean, you might as well be.
Wow.
Face
Neil,
says 31, hair says 47.
sir, I cannot wait for the day that you start losing that hair. I've seen your dad. It's coming, and I know it's your mom's side. What's your mom's dad look like, or looked like if he's not with us still?
Nah.
No.
No. Honestly, both my parents have terrible hairlines. So my brother is the one with the nice hair. So we like to dog them about the hairline that they have given us all the time. So
I'd like to point out that UJ rents their G logo from the Packers. Talk about triggering the mutts. Yes. Yep. We talked about that in a previous live stream, I think, didn't we? Caught you mid-drink. I think we did.
Texas A&M also leases out their 12th man trademark to the Seahawks.
Really? I didn't realize that Seahawks used the 12th man thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The fans are the 12th men as well, and they fly a 12th man flag. I think they've retired number 12 for the fans, but they have to pay royalties every year to the Aggies.
Is there anybody that uses War Eagle out there that has to pay royalties to us? No.
I will tell random high schools in Georgia and Mississippi that use the War Eagles as their name, but I don't think we have any right to claim that one.
So I don't know if you remember this, Clint, but I actually lived in Georgia previously before I moved away and came back. I spent middle school through freshman year of high school there, and I went to a middle school and a high school where it was the War Eagles. Clint, I thought I hit the jackpot because every time, whoa, like we did it, and I was like, is this not the best place ever?
I'm at home.
Of course, we played the Notre Dame fight song. You explain that one to me.
High school is weird. Fight songs are weird.
I'd like to see you get into the Alabama high school logo game and see if you can start documenting that.
There are a couple of really good websites out there that have a lot of historic high school helmets. And I remember when my wife and I first started dating, we actually spent a couple of hours one night just going through the entire Alabama high school landscape and kind of picking out that's an Alabama helmet. That's, they use the New England Patriots logo. That's the Georgia G, all that kind of stuff. So it's out there. I don't want anything to do with that.
But you could do so much better with it. I've seen the quality that you do with Auburn. I think you could expand your reach a little bit. Not encroach on territory. Felix, what's going on, my man? Felix is a member of the Booster Club. By the way, if you want to join, you can do so by following the link in the description. For as low as $1 a month, you can help support the content that we do here and on our podcast network. I think we're pretty much caught up in chat. We got some stories being shared about UGA fans, so you can catch up with some of those if you'd like to check those out. Clint, I'm ready. Show and tell, correction on lore. Give me some stuff, man. I need it.
Let's see. Which one? Yeah, let's start with this one. I would say that these are all my favorites because all of them are my favorite, and the newest one is always the favorite. But this one's really cool. I don't know if you.
Oh, I like that one.
This.
I do recognize.
You'll like it. You'll like it. So this is one of the very few items, actually the only item I have that has the Virgil Starks memorial patch on it. He's got just a mouthful of a title. He was like associate athletic director, and he worked with the academic side of the athletics, and he passed away in 2008. And the football team wore the decal for one game. It was the Iron Bowl. It was 2008. It was a trash game. And then the men's basketball, women's basketball, just those two wore it on the jerseys. So this was really cool to get. What's interesting is the name has been rubbed off because this jersey was actually repurposed by the wheelchair basketball team. But if you probably can't see it.
I can.
But if you can, it's my guy Tay Waller. And Tay Waller was so much fun to watch. Tay from Trey, like Trey from Tay, like I just loved watching 24 play, and 24 was always my number growing up. So, these are these are always cool pieces to get.
Yeah, that's a really cool one right there. I mean, that's one that like I don't think a lot of people talk about too these days, at least player wise. I think he's one of those
I
guys that gets forgotten.
I do too. And I've always said up until Bruce Pearl got to town, I always thought that like Auburn missed out by like 1 year increments on having really fun combination of players.
Hmm.
After Tay left, you had Kenny Gabriel.
Yep.
After, Kenny Gabriel, you had Frankie Sullivan.
Hmm.
After Frankie, you had
Taj
Joe
Shamsuddin
Stinson
and Taj
and
Shamsuddin.
Taj. I think if a year or two on either side of that, if Tay had played with Kenny and if Chris had played with Kenny, like that just would have been a lot of fun to watch.
I think one of the frustrating things for obviously besides the coaches for Auburn basketball fans during that time were like you just talked about, we were getting some pretty good players, but so spread out, and you couldn't get
Yeah.
them together in a program at least like overlapping by a year or two, because this is not a time where Auburn was putting people in the league. It's not a time where we had one and dones, so there was no excuses for it. There were players that were seen 4 years regularly here, so there should have been a little overlap, and it never
Yeah,
worked out.
and that's just how I always felt watching these guys. And of course, realistically, if they were all on the same team, they would have been stealing points and minutes from each other, and they probably wouldn't have played much better. But that's just how I like to fondly look back at these guys. They were the stars of really bad teams,
Mhm.
and for me, they made it enjoyable to watch.
Mhm. Yeah, it's one of the things that got us through the dark times before
Have
the
we done
emperor.
any women's sports yet?
I think you brought softball one time, but I
I
could
brought
be wrong.
softball.
What we got?
Um, how about women's basketball?
Nice. Very nice, very
So
nice.
this is 2009, 2010. This was worn by Renisha Hobbs. I think she only played for a year,
Oh, I forgot about that name.
and but this is also the Kenny Gabriel type design with the stripes down the side. The men's team had what I called like basketball stripes on the shorts.
Mhm.
Um, the cool aspect is the back to me because the men obviously had their name. The women do not have the name on it,
Right.
but you know it's not showing up very well. But
I see it fine.
this is all mesh, and it has tiger stripes in it.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I see the detail now. Yep.
So what's also cool is you'll notice that this one, like the other one, does not have an Under Armour logo up here. Although for this one, it's down here on the tail
Mm.
because it wasn't until
That you tuck in.
right, but it was visible on the shorts
Okay.
because in 2012, 2013, somewhere around that time, the NCAA finally allowed manufacturers to put their logo visible on the jersey.
Yeah.
So you go back and you look at it, and there are blank chest jerseys. What's interesting is after Coach Nell Fortner left and Coach Flo came in, Coach Fortner left behind a brand new set of uniforms, and they were called racerback. More like a tank top in the back. They were very tight, more feminine, as I've been told by a former player, and the girls hated them. They played the first two games in a tournament on the road. I think at NC State. They wore the white version and then the blue version, and then they've not been seen since. So as soon as they got back home, they went back to this style. And looking back through photos, you'll see one player is wearing a blank jersey, the next player is wearing one with the logo on the chest, and it's a really interesting mismatch of jersey styles.
The things that you keep track of, my friend, they are just
Hey,
interesting.
details matter.
They do, they do. Hey, he says, Jack says Marquise Daniel was my favorite Auburn basketball player until Bryce Brown. I mean, I think
Ooh,
I get that
that's fair.
because
That's fair.
it's the high profile players, but I really think, like Clint said earlier, there are some lost people not lost, but forgotten athletes in there. I mean, anybody not
Right.
remember fondly Rob Chubb?
No, I can't say anything on this
listen,
one.
listen. I'm not going to sit here and defend that Rob Chubb, and I don't think he would. He's the greatest center of all time for Auburn, but the man gave us 4 years and probably helped us be a lot less worse than we were. So I'm not going to disparage him, but there's that as well.
So speaking of Marquise, kind of bat from when he played.
Oh, that is old school right
So
there.
this was worn between 2000 and 2002. The nice American flag patch is just adds a touch and has honestly been kind of difficult to nail down when that was worn. It was worn slightly before 9/11 and then of course a couple of years afterwards. But I just man, these classic designs, that classic word mark, this is the epitome of basketball design to me.
Mm-hmm.
But so, do you remember the name Lincoln Glass
I do
during this
not.
time?
I do not.
I think he was from like Nebraska, if I remember correctly, transferred in and then was actually very pivotal in that team that, made a couple of runs into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Let's see. True Auburn champion says used to like Doc Robinson when he scored. The TV announcers would say the doctor's in the house. They had a lot of great ways they said players back then. I think it was
You
Damian
just don't get that nowadays.
Fishbag. That
Yeah, you just don't get that nowadays.
Oh, and then
I
Mama Do. Sorry, but go ahead.
Hey, nobody love you like Mama do.
Perfect.
Speaking of those two players, I don't have them with me. I think they're back in storage, but I have a warm up shooting shirt from Mamadou Ninja.
Mm.
That's it's massive, like it's a dress. It's such a cool piece. And I also have a pair of shorts from the late '90s that were the asymmetric design, where the white stripe and the logo were on one side and the other side was all left. And inside, there's no modern tagging. There's actually not even a modern set of drawstrings. It's a very old school and rudimentary, but it has Sharpied number 50. So it's got to be a Doc Robinson pair of shorts.
Yeah.
All
We
right, I got
gotta.
one more piece.
Oh, let's see it. Let's see it. Before showing.
2015 was that Pearl's first year?
Hold on. Let me think through
And
this. Yes. Second.
2014, 2015.
Yeah. Second year.
So so when the calendar clicked over to January 2015, Auburn decided to start like teasing something. Something different was coming and nobody knew what it was. And it was this bad boy.
The little
So,
collar, I don't know what you call that, daggers right there. Kind of looks like you're almost wearing a.
Yeah, I like that. Just I didn't color it all the way in. And this thing is just all mesh. Like the weight of this thing compared to the others, this weighs nothing.
It's a basketball player's dream.
This one is Alex Thompson, which is kind of cool because I was,
God, that's a name.
kind of friends with him at the time. Like he knew my name. He'd come up and we would chat after the games and stuff like that. The back of it is all patterned. All the mesh is patterned, and this pattern is still being worn. Simeon Bowers actually tore his right here under the name when they were in Tennessee. But the reason that I got this one is because of that. That's
ribbon.
the Anthony Mason Memorial patch after obviously famous Knicks player Anthony Mason, father of current or then current Auburn basketball player Anthony Mason's dad, had passed away. The team was actually on the road at Texas A&M, and the Aggies helped design, produce, and attach to the jerseys those patches. And finding modern Under Armour Auburn stuff is really difficult. So the second I saw that, I was like, I'm getting it. I don't care what it goes for. I'm getting it. And
Well,
I
and it's
guess
got it's got a sad but cool story with it too.
it does. And Auburn just doesn't wear memorial patches often.
Mhm.
In fact, I just got something in the mail last week, a baseball jersey that is, I think, the only memorial patch they've ever worn.
Yeah,
And it's just, these things are rare. They're not seen often. Of course, they're only worn for limited number of games, maybe the entire season. But I had to get it when I saw it, and it's such a special piece
it's
of
a
this
good one.
collection.
That's a really good one.
But there's kind of two really interesting things about this. Beside that, the color. I don't know if you can see it very well, but if you remember watching these on TV, that's not traditional orange. That's like
Right.
a neon. It's a very peachy orange.
Tennessee orange?
Not quite,
Mhm.
but it's got a little bit more pink in it. It's not quite as vibrant as Tennessee or Auburn
Hmm.
orange, um, but also, and this is again another feature that would be tucked in, um,
Oh, look at that.
more tiger stripes.
I like those
So
tiger stripes.
all of these jerseys that Under Armour produced for this conference 2015 schedule, um, they had some sort of design at the bottom. Like I know South Carolina was another one of the teams, and they had palmetto trees placed around there, kind of in a camo pattern. Temple was one of the teams that they actually showed off in the reveal. It's really funny. Like Auburn was one of the first to tease these and wear them, but Under Armour didn't include Auburn at all in the
Mhm.
reveal for these. They used Temple, South Carolina, and some other smaller teams.
That's a good show and tell there. I really like that last one with the stripes there. And even Robert says these are jerseys like nothing you see in local Walmart because that's what Clint painstakingly chooses what he wants.
Yes, yes.
All right, so we're gonna answer a lot of your questions that we're kind of backed up on. So don't be shy. Post comments, questions. You can even call in if you'd like to. I can post the number if you guys are like. We'll figure out if we can get a third one in here or not. I think we
I'm
can.
interested in that.
I know. I no one's taken me up on it yet. Who's not scheduled to show up, Clint? I'm kind of worried what that means, but I posted it in the chat if you want to access it.
Robert, call in, bro.
There you go. But we've got Justin and Robert Keith, who are father and son watching. And I love this. I'm not picking on it, but I love the question because it's so generic. Do you think Auburn's going to win this year?
Yes.
Yes. I would assume, just generally speaking, he's talking about football. Yes, still. Do I think how much are they going to win? That's up for
don't
debate.
don't don't even go into that question anymore.
Why?
He asked what he asked. He asked what he asked.
Does Auburn going to win?
Do you think Auburn's going to win? Yeah,
Yes, at
I
some
do.
point. If there's ever a year where we don't get one win, like I'm talking not even like a track and field bronze medal, that's a terrible year. You remember we
You
used to
know what?
debate
You
what's
know
the
what?
worst year?
Oh man. Ugh.
That was the worst
Yeah.
one.
I I'll go a step further. Here's my prediction for you, Kyle. I know you like my predictions. Auburn will win multiple times this year.
It's fair. It's a fair statement. I don't get mad at it. Let's see. Love the all white jerseys. So classy. I know. I think you hate it when I say this, but the stormtrooper look. Are you? Is that kind of
Mm,
offend you, Clint?
it doesn't offend me. It's so cliche at this point. Anybody who wears all white gets that moniker, and I don't know about you, but that doesn't look like a stormtrooper helmet. There's
No,
no
it does.
black on it.
Now, I can listen. It's not so much the black, but the darker color that makes people evoke the stormtrooper vibes. I mean,
Well, I mean,
the analogy's there.
you say that, and I get where you're coming from on that. But when Oregon, for example, comes out and they wear white, white, white with a white face mask, and there's no dark color on it whatsoever, it's yellow details or something. It's like, still stormtrooper, and they just like to. It's become a catch-all naming convention, and it's like those kind of names go against what a brand is supposed to be. Brand is supposed to stand out and be its own thing. And Auburn has a great brand. It's not a stormtrooper brand because that's Star Wars. It's not
Yeah.
a stormtrooper uniform because a million teams wear all white, and that's just me being a little picky on it. Like I have nothing against it. People have fun with it. I get it. I've seen Auburn fans actually take a plastic stormtrooper helmet and stripe it up with the helmet stripes.
Yeah. Well, we got somebody calling in, Clint. You want to welcome him in?
Ooh,
We got
on,
Robert. I think it's Robert Keith. What's going on, Robert?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey man, what you doing? Trucking, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm a truck driver.
Well, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Just want to call in, see how it was, and see if I can get in or not.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
Oh no.
By the way, we are looking at your forehead, so if you can like tilt, unless you don't want us to look at your forehead face, So what? Yeah, I mean, what questions, comments you got? Anything you want to talk about in particular?
I seen the other day where Coach Harrison's going that black jersey.
He's going to go to a black jersey. Clint, you got anything on this? No.
Not. It's the first I've heard of that.
It was on that sports channel. They were showing it.
24/7. I'm just going to start naming.
Yeah, 24/7. Yeah,
24/7. That's usually where people get most of their stuff from, which is fine. I mean, I think they're a pretty decent source of stuff. So I would say this though, most of the stuff you see on message boards, I take with a heavy, heavy, heavy dose of grain of salt, in my opinion. That's just me. That's just me.
Oh, okay.
But would you want to see a black jersey?
I like the way it is now. Myself.
You like the way are you a traditionalist like me?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Clint? Are you a traditionalist, or are you somebody who wants to see a little change?
I want to see a little change, but only very specific changes. I mean, you know me, I want that orange mask, but I don't see many things happening. And even if Harsin went to, higher up at Auburn and said, I want a black jersey, I don't think it would happen. There are too many people who hold that key to get Auburn uniforms changed, especially a football uniform, that I don't see that happening anytime soon.
No. So
yeah, something about won't be like Oregon, all black or something other.
Oh, please, no. I no. We do not need to do anything until Oregon can beat us in football. They have no say in what we do whatsoever.
I will say this: the way, and this only accounts for as the current athletic department is standing. Until that new facility gets built, it'll be different. But the Auburn equipment room does not have space for multiple helmets and jerseys and pants. They only have enough room for what they've got. And when I'll use Ole Miss for example. Ole Miss had to get rid of their white helmets to make room for the powder blue helmets because they just didn't have room in their space for it.
Well, so what about this, Robert? If you could see one change, like if you had to pick one change to the jersey, what would you be okay with? He's like, I got to think hard on this, but I didn't want this.
Lord, I don't know.
You want to see navy pants?
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we change the pants, that will have the least blowback. I think tops and helmets.
The easiest things to change would be, number one, the face mask color. We already did it with the gray for, the Outback Bowl. And then the pants. Pants are throwaway. They're kind of cheap anyways. The helmet would be a big change. A lot of people are asking me to see if I can get a Navy helmet included. But I don't think that jersey's touchable. I think that thing's off limits.
Yeah. I don't know a world that won't explode if we make drastic changes to anything above the waist.
If you want to see drastic changes to an Auburn uniform, please give me about a month. I have a new entry into my crazy Auburn concept uniforms coming out next month, and yeah, they're crazy. these
Yeah.
are so much fun, and this is what will change the world, not a pair of blue pants.
so Robert, if you want to get crazy and you want him to come up with a like weird, like obviously these are just for fun that he does with his article every year. So if you want to see a weird design, like he's done camo Auburn before, I believe. You haven't done camo?
No. I get suggested for a camo Auburn concept every single year, and that is immediately vetoed. No camo is allowed in this series.
Wow. Okay.
Not at all.
Oh wow. Not even orange and blue camo?
No. Nothing makes me more physically ill than seeing the baseball team sport their horrendous camo.
And Clint has just segregated half our audience from Alabama now. Like everybody's gone with the camo comment.
What about the blue and orange stripes?
Like tiger stripes or just like?
Yeah, tiger stripes, yeah.
Clint?
Done tastefully, yeah. I think it could work. I mean, we were showing off some of these jerseys earlier, and I know that they're really hard to see, but Auburn has at times placed stripes in certain parts of a non-football uniform, like the basketball numbers, the softball numbers years ago had it, and it's one of those things that you would only see up close and personal. You might not see it on TV, but there have been tiger stripes on uniforms before.
Yeah. Well, hey Robert, I appreciate you calling in, man. Don't be shy and do it again. Next time we're live, we're gonna get to some of these other questions because I know people are itching at that. But we appreciate you calling in, man.
Can you see what I'm hauling?
What you hauling back there? Oh wow, that's a big old. What is that back there?
Polaris side by sides.
Polaris sides, nice.
You want to bring one to me? Where are you calling from, by the way?
Yeah, I forgot to ask him that.
I'm in Columbia, Kentucky right now.
Okay.
Columbia, Kentucky. There's a Columbia, Kentucky?
Yeah, it's up here, not too far from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we at least know the vicinity of where that's in Kentucky, but
good old North Kentucky.
All right. Well, Robert, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
War Eagle, guys.
War Eagle, man. War Eagle. Thanks. All right, let's get to some of these questions that everybody's, I'm sure, excited for us to. Hang on one second. I'm trying. Let me make sure I get everything set up here. This is always interesting when you have people call in because I got to make sure I have the thing set up so it doesn't. All right. I think we got it now. Okay, there we go. Sorry, little technical difficulties there. All right, let's back it up here and see what's going on. Is Harsin, this is from Kevin, is Harsin a gambler when the game is on the line? I have not watched Coach Harsin enough in his past coaching to know if he's a gambler or not. Clint, anything?
I haven't either. You kind of take his career path. He was at War Dustbuster, absolutely. At Arkansas State, you have to be kind of ballsy with your play calling.
That is true.
Boise State, you have to be kind of ballsy just to fit in with the history of that program. So I think in those terms, yes, he'll be ballsier than the last coach.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see as conservative of a team going forward. But that's a very simple, off the top of the surface guess on that. I have not done any research into this.
No, I like your logic with that, and I would be cautious with Auburn fans. Be careful what you ask for, because when you take more chances, there's more opportunities to fall flat on your face. There are equal opportunities to rise to the occasion. Just be careful what you ask for. The G League. I know this is not recruiting, but this is kind of like related to the success of Auburn's basketball. What are your thoughts on the G League from Darius?
I have a little bit of a soft spot for the G League back when it was called the D League, and the G League is only named that because Gatorade paid a crap ton of money, and that's kind of sad in my book. But back in the day, Huntsville had the Huntsville Flight as a D League team, and I believe we took a field trip there one year. But I I I love minor league baseball. It's so much fun. I grew up with a team, had a team here in Jacksonville, Florida, and I feel like the NBA and basketball in general just needs some kind of farm league. I wish the D League was bigger, but the G League. I wish that there was just more to go around, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, the NBA and the NFL both need a minor league baseball kind of system. Maybe not nearly as big because I think it's massive and I don't understand how all it works, but
Mm.
there needs to be something.
So for the NFL, and I'm glad you brought that up because I really wish, for a couple of reasons, that something like the XFL would survive. Because even the XFL this last go around, and they're still saying they're going to try to get it back up. If there wasn't a pandemic, they might have survived. I don't know, maybe not. But I do think they had started to develop a relationship where they were very open with how people could come in and out of their league if they got an opportunity to go to the NFL. So I think there really needs to be, it doesn't have to be necessarily like with the NFL, but it needs to have that type of open relationship where it can be
Absolutely.
semi-pro.
Absolutely. It needs something. It needs something, absolutely.
Lee wants the alternate orange jersey.
How you feel about that?
No comment.
Hey, it's historic. I'm for it. It's a history lesson, and I like it. It doesn't have to be a yearly thing. It doesn't even have to be a weekly thing. Let's bring it. My stance on all of these is if Auburn were to do an alternate uniform, let's do it once every 2 or 3 years and make it for homecoming or make it for a smaller team or an Akron or a you know Tulane. Tulane would be great, from a couple of years ago. Um, let's talk Auburn history. Auburn history is always talked about and always praised, but it's often misrepresented, and I think we need that better.
Justin is asking, how do you call in? I'll post it one more time here. Let me grab it again. Still learning all these little controls. There's that if you'd like to call in, and I posted it in the comment section if you want to do that. I want to go back up here to Neil. AU combined the eagle and the tiger to make the Teagle. Clint, that's not the weirdest. That is not the weirdest thing you've ever had to ask for. Let's be honest.
Man, just going back to these crazy concepts, I have 50 ideas written down in a spreadsheet that my amazing Twitter followers have given me, and I'm only going to be making like 14 of them. And they are crazy. They're crazier every year. I had somebody say, make an eagle, not a uniform inspired by an eagle, not the Philadelphia Eagles uniform. Make an actual eagle head uniform. And I tried, and it didn't work. I think I saw a Teagle on Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh. Let me go back. What is this at? Hold on. I think I saw
It's
a
the
Teagle
newest
on.
comment
Oh
from Lee.
my goodness. What is going on here? Okay, let me set some ground rules here. We do not accept orange jerseys here, and we do not accept Harry Potter in this household. I hate Harry Potter. Hate it with a passion. Stupid.
You're gonna have to tune in on Tuesday nights to the I2I live stream for that rant.
Look at me with my little wand. Woo, pew pew. Look at that. All right.
Hey, Kyle, turn that camera this way and let's just see that Disney wall.
That's for the. It's not Tuesdays. It's Thursdays tomorrow. But yes,
okay.
there's a wall over there. You'll have to figure it out. The room. Yes, the room is looking dark behind me, because it's getting dark outside, but I'm playing with my lighting a little bit. I know the image is kind of fuzzy because of that. I'm toying around with some things, trying new things this summer. So
you're getting fancy.
If you can see me better, I don't know if that's a good thing, but yes, if we could get here's the one time I would accept inappropriate behavior on a call-in. If I could get War Dustbuster to call back in. So if anybody knows who that Clint, we broke Clint. We broke Clint.
Oh my gosh.
We broke Clint.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Neil. Kyle, have you not made a t-shirt with that yet?
I'm going to, trust me. It's on my docket for this summer. There's many things in the docket.
It's not getting done.
No, it will. We'll talk later. Oh man, there's so much going on right now. When Boise was he the OC, meaning Harsin, when they were pulling out all the tricks? Yes, he was. Was he co-offensive coordinator or offensive coordinator?
I think what Lee was referring to, or at least what I read it as, was the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma, the Statue of Liberty. He was on the team. I don't think he was offensive coordinator at that time.
I thought he was.
But of course he did. I think he was just like an assistant coach. He made it up to OC and then obviously took over the head coaching job a couple of years ago. But he was part of that team. Yes.
Okay. All right. We got another caller, and I guess this is Justin Keith. What's going on, man? How are you? Uh-oh. We got no microphone access. Try one more time, buddy. Still can't hear you. Check in the settings sometime.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we got something. Try one more time. Uh-oh.
I'll just leave this off.
There you go. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Well, you know, I'm here with Clint, so things could be better.
Man, why do I do this to myself?
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a miracle. What's on your mind, buddy?
I just call and see if how everyone's doing.
I mean, I got nothing to complain about except Clint, so I'm good.
I'm getting bullied here, so
It's all right. Yeah. Well, it's not all right. But let me say that for the video. Bullying is not all right, but messing with Clint is. Justin, what do you think about alternate jerseys? Anything you want to see?
It's all right, but just the colors just need to be changed, I think.
You think the colors need to be changed? Oh my goodness. I don't know about
what
that.
What colors you want to see?
What do you got?
I got orange and blue.
That all you got?
That's all I got.
Well, no. Hold on. Don't let him lie to you. He's got teal and black. If I got those colors right, Clint, for Jacksonville. Is that...
Yes. Teal and black and gold, but I thought we were only talking about Auburn.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, Clint wears orange and blue 9 out of 10 times. Every once in a while, you'll find some teal come out of his closet.
Yeah, you'll see a little bit.
What do you think about the football prospects this year? You got a prediction on record for us? So if they play 12 games regular season, what do you think they're going to win?
Say about 9 out of 10 or 9 out of 12.
I'll take it.
I like that.
Hey, I will say this. I will be parading if we get 9 wins. And that is not like saying that Harsin's going to have a bad year. I'm looking at everything. I don't know that we are going to get more than 8 without a bowl game win. That's me. I could be wrong. And I've actually upgraded my prediction since then. But you're pretty confident with 9. Does that mean you think they're going to beat Penn State in Happy Valley?
Yeah.
I think you're being spoken for. He's speaking for him now. Yeah, I think it's possible. It's going to be hard to get a win on the road in Happy Valley.
By 3.
By 3? That's fair. Hey, that is not the craziest prediction I've heard today. So that is good.
I looked at tickets to that game a couple of weeks ago I think it was 2 weeks ago when they announced full capacity. Tickets at the cheapest price were $460.
I will be glad that I chose to go on a fun and very expensive anniversary trip as opposed to going to that. Like I know I'm going to Hawaii. Technically, it's Disney too, but anyway. That's neither here nor there. Justin's like, what are they talking about? It's inside stuff.
This relationship goes a long way back.
Well, unfortunately, it does. I've been trying to get rid of him for like 5 years, but he keeps coming around.
You keep calling me, keep begging me to come on your shows.
So what we need to do is take Justin's image and put him in the middle of us because of what's going on right now, so he can just literally sit between the middle of. Hey, Justin, you got any other last-minute questions for us?
Not really.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in tonight, man. And good to hear from you and your dad.
Y'all have a good one now.
All right. You too, man. Thanks for listening.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
All right. We got 2 call-ins tonight. That's pretty awesome.
It's a record.
It is a record. It is. All right. Let's do some catch-up here. We'll do some last-minute reminders in just a little bit. But if you guys haven't, please do make sure you smash that like button. And also subscribe if you hit that notification bell. Let's see. Uniform with feathers all over it. No? Yes?
I mean, you could just run for a vat of glue, and I'll pour some feathers on you. We'll just see how that works.
Here's a bad Harry Potter joke I need to share. Do you get it?
No.
It's a Harry Potter book thing. It's we're picking on Lee now at this point. If we get 9 wins, he says the hype for next year will be playoff or bust. I agree. I think 9 is overachieving this year, and that will only. And if his staff's trajectory with Clint's favorite word, recruiting, continues, I think we're going to see expectations that Gus Malzahn had never seen before.
I'm not ready for that.
But I'm not saying I'm expecting that. I'm just speaking for the
Auburn
Poppers.
fan base and expectations do not go together.
They do not. 9-3 prediction. Here's a good. Everybody go around. Felix says 9-3. Let's get predictions in right now. I'm saying 8-4 regular season, 8-5 with a bowl loss is what I'm saying. But Clint, any predictions?
No, I don't do predictions.
How about this? Give me. Do you think we will beat either Alabama or Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. I will do that. Is about as much as I can get out of you, my friends. Shameless plug here. I'm going to Disney's Alani in Hawaii for our anniversary trip.
Man.
Look.
I've got a list of people who are currently in Hawaii or have been in Hawaii within the last 2 weeks. And I'm just going to add you to that of people I'm pissed off with for not taking me.
You're always pissed off with me, so it doesn't matter.
That's true.
But do you remember when you all were trying to somehow talk me into spending money to send everybody from E2C Network to Hawaii for the Hawaii Invitational?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that crew? Can you imagine that crew that could barely get through a trip to New Orleans together on a plane ride together?
And there was no alcohol to be had.
There was none. There was.
That's the scary thing.
There was so many things. And obviously we all, most of it was good, but we always look back on it now as like, wow, that was a time, man.
I mean, the worst part of that was when you tried to when you forced us to play some silly card game at 2 a.m.
I didn't force. Y'all were just bored. No, y'all were bored out of your minds.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
All right, really quick. We're going to get back to some of these questions and comments, so keep them coming. We'll try to rapid fire them at the end. Clint, please share with everybody what you got going on Uniform Database.
So you can check out the Auburn Uniform Database at auburnuniforms.com. Been doing a lot of catch-up research and adding a lot to the website. Softball has been fleshed out. Women's basketball has been fleshed out. Been working on soccer. It's a little slow right now, but you can thank the crazy concept uniform piece. That'll be coming out in about a month or so. I just like to tease it at this point because it's really funny. These are going to be good and gold and brown and green and blue and yellow.
My head hurts.
But you can follow everything I do on Twitter at ClintAU24. You can check out the Auburn Uniform Database on Facebook and Instagram at Auburn Uniforms.
So that's where you can follow all of his stuff. Please, guys, do go check all this stuff out. Clint works very hard on these things, and he is just a wealth of knowledge for Auburn history, but obviously Auburn uniform stuff. So please do go show him some love by checking out his stuff or following him. And I guess if I stop insulting him, he'll keep coming back here and seeing us and showing.
It's amazing. I still like you.
For us here at the network, please do check out some of those links in the description, whether it's just following the podcast and listening, or considering joining the Booster Club. $1 a month, that's all it takes to get you access this content nobody else gets. And it really does go a long way to helping curb some of the cost of doing a YouTube channel, if not already close to 800 podcast episodes. 800. I counted them, Clint. 800.
You and I were on a number of those.
That is some stuff right there. So please do consider that if you can, if you're interested in that. There's also PayPal, TeePublic, all that good stuff as I knock my microphone around. That's all the plugs for us tonight. Let's see. Let's rapid fire here. We got some more predictions. 9-4, 11-1, 11-1. Georgia. We lose to Georgia, and that's it. So you're saying we beat Alabama, but we lose to Georgia. Is there any scenario where that happens, Clint? Like likely?
College football.
No, it's not happening. We can't do that. Can't do that whatsoever. Trying to figure out here where we're at. What do the Bass fishing team? Whoop. There we go. Uniforms look like? Clint, that's your new area.
They look like NASCAR jerseys, honestly. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they have a lot of sponsors on them, and they change every year. So I don't know. Club sports aren't my thing.
One day.
Club sports are really hard to follow because they don't cover their own stuff very well.
Right.
And it's just the truth. I really would like to get into Auburn hockey and Auburn lacrosse more. That's really cool to me that we have those kind of sports. But if you go and look at either of their Twitter accounts, you're very rarely going to find photos. It's just hard. It's hard to do it.
Now, if there was a club sport that I think would be the easiest entry point for you, would be hockey, because they do a better job than anybody. Maybe the Bass team.
They absolutely do.
Selling themselves or sharing what they're doing.
Yeah, and I kind of have a decent relationship with hockey right now.
Okay.
Because they're rolling out a new white jersey this year. They rolled out a new orange jersey 2 years ago, maybe last year. And I like to support them. They're good guys. I've got a really cool video on my Instagram account of one of the former players who had a really cool custom hockey goalie mask painted up. Had a lion, or had a tiger and an eagle and tumors being rolled on it. Was really cool. So yeah, it's just really hard, and I still have officially sanctioned teams that I'm still trying to document better. So yeah, they just unfortunately get pushed down to the end.
One day, Clint. My dream is to have a podcast for everything, any topic Auburn that you could want on this network. One day, like Auburn chicken joints. We've done a show about that. Remember that we have done a podcast series about The Bachelor. That's how far I'm willing to go with this. I'm willing.
It was good though.
It was good.
A good series.
I quick story, because I know
we had a couple of stars hosting on that one.
Let me just say this quick story for that. I remember the night that got dropped in our group chat as whether we could do this or not, and I just was like, "Are we really going to make me say yes to this?" Because my whole thing is, if you want to do it, I will supply the platform for you. I will edit it for you. All that stuff. And that goes to anybody here that's listening now. If you want proof of that, look no further than Bought to Get a Bachelor. That is my not so shiny trophy.
I am so proud of that name too. I don't remember who came up with that one, but the group chat workshopping that name was just perfection. I think that's the best name that we've ever had on this network.
And there will names that will not be shared ever. Just like the story of Tristan in the closet will never be shared ever, or Ben in the closet.
See, I haven't even heard this.
I know. Never.
That's what I hate about this.
When I'm having a bad day, Clint, I go back into my archives of archives and I just pull that clip out. Just that me, Ben, and Tristan, the original founders with me of the network, started. There have been, War Dustbuster was probably a moment closer to that just broke us. That broke us. And that was way back when we first started all this stuff.
I'm going to make you show me that one day.
One day. All right. Last minute here. We're rapid fire. By the way, if you are heading out, I know War Report is going live right now. Please tell them we say hello in War Eagle and that E2C Network sent you. And please do hit the like button and subscribe on your way out. Real quick. I didn't mean to bring that one up, but here's the thing I love about Casey. Casey is unabashedly opinionated. That's the way I'll put it. Let's see. Are you a time traveler? No. I keep trying to get to this one here. My playoffs this year: Ohio State, Clemson, Auburn, and Oklahoma.
Well, I want you to read that number 2 team again.
Clemson. I know. I said
there's
Clemson.
No P in there, bro.
It doesn't matter. All right. I think we're good and caught up for tonight. Clint, thank you so much, my friend, for hanging out with us.
Do you actually mean that?
I mean it on publicly.
Fine, we'll chat after this is over and hash it out.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. 2 callers tonight. Y'all don't be shy. Make sure you're subscribed because I may go live later on in the week and stuff like that, but we will be back again. At least I will be. We'll get Clint as soon as he's available again, if he wants to come back. Wednesday nights, be here. Free game discussion like this all night, and love to hear from you guys then. So hope to see you around the podcast network or the YouTube channel. Until we talk to you guys again, War Eagle.
War Eagle.